Well. We are back with another Mets postgame show where the New York Mets lose a late game to the Philadelphia Phillies 2-1 in a walk-off fashion in Citizens Bank Park. And there is definitely a lot to talk about, not only in this game, but in this series. Now, where I agree with probably most of you is there was not one person that was complaining that Peterson going into the eighth inning was a bad move. If you think that was a bad move, you clearly thought that after he gave up the run. Very simple. It's just that simple. He was pitching outstanding, and the 7th, 8th, and 9th hitter were up in the 8th inning. Why wouldn't you put him out there? He had 85 pitches. Why not? He was pitching outstanding, and the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. If you want to get on anybody, get on Peterson for not doing the job. He did great for 7 innings. Because if they would have took him out and the Mets bullpen would have gave it up, people would have bitched the opposite way. Why didn't you keep Peterson in? Monday morning quarterback. That's what it was. You can't complain about Peterson. Now, if you want to complain, here's the complaint. Jesse Winker batted for Luis Torrens. Now, it seems like a good move, right? You want to get the better hitter up in that 9th inning, right? Yeah, absolutely. But guess what? Nick Castellanos stole that base because Alvarez can't throw anybody out. Luis Torrens would have gunned him down. That's a problem. Yeah, Ken, I don't think you heard me. Winker shouldn't have been pinch hit for. Because what it did, it put the worst, the not better defensive catcher behind the plate in the most important inning or half inning in the bottom of the ninth. Why would you leave Torrens in? I know he was looking for the long ball from Winker. I get that. But you know you're bringing in Diaz in the ninth, regardless if you have a lead or you're tied. Diaz can't hold on runners. Wouldn't you want the better defensive catcher who has thrown out many runners in the bottom of the ninth? Now, the concept was right, but not thinking about your closer who can't hold on runners. And on top of that, having Alvarez who is bad at blocking balls and can't throw out runners. Ken, Mendoza isn't a fool because you said take him out in the eighth, take Peterson out and let a bullpen guy come in the eighth inning. Why? I'll tell you why. Because Peterson didn't get it done. So now you try to act smart saying it after the runner already scored. After Peterson didn't get the job done, now you complain Peterson was in the ball game. There was no reason why Peterson shouldn't have started the eighth inning. Now, if you would have said take him out after that first double, I'd be on board with you. But you said the eighth inning. That don't make no sense. Maybe after first batter, sure. But then again, he basically took care of business after he gave up that run. So, and he gave up the hits to the seventh and eighth hitter. Oh, I'm sorry, the seventh, eighth, and ninth, in the bottom of the order. But got Schwarber out. Ken, who cares? What pitcher hit? Severino. He done it. That has nothing to do with it. If you're talking about baseball as a whole, then you're a freaking idiot. Because does Garrett Cole, if he's pitching well, you're going to take him out in the eighth inning? Now, I'm not saying David Peterson is anywhere near Garrett Cole. But David Peterson pitched outstanding today. The Phillies hitters could not touch him the entire game. Here's the problem. I think we can all agree. Where was the fucking offense? Where was the fucking offense for this team? Peterson has pitched great. Where's the offense? Bring up any batter. Tyrone Taylor had to get the only freaking run with the home run. Tyrone Taylor, who wasn't even supposed to play today if it wasn't for the Marte injury. Talk about a problem. We talked about it in the pregame. The offense was a problem yesterday because after the third inning, they put up zeros. Zeros. Why not blame this offense for this series? They've had one good game in this series. Let's be honest. We had a lead in 4-0, and we had a 1-0 lead late in this game. There's an argument that we could have swept this series. We played better than the Phillies. It didn't look pretty, but they didn't play that good. Look who got the hits in yesterday's game. Kyle Stevenson. Look who got on base in the bottom of the order. The bottom of the order that nobody even knows. And then JT Realmuto on an 0-2 pitch. And this is another reason why Jesse Winker pinch hitting for Torrens is absolutely stupid. Because Alvarez is so confident in his pitch selection because he picks this. If you notice, he picks the selection for Diaz. Now Diaz has obviously a right to say no. Why are you throwing an 0-2 fastball up in the zone to a JT Realmuto who is a high ball hitter? This is a situation where I would expect you to throw a slider. If you hang it, all right, that's just a bad pitch. But why not try to throw a ball in the dirt and see if JT Realmuto goes fishing? It's huge. It's a problem. Yeah, we had 7 hits, we had 9 hits, and 14 hits in every game. We outperformed them. For the most part, we played better defense than them for the most part. And you know what sucks? That Pete Alonso, what was it, the 8th inning, maybe the 9th inning? I think it was whatever inning that he hit that he got the hit when it bounced off Hopper's glove. That ball's in right field. We're talking about we're talking about 2-0 lead. And who knows? Maybe they wouldn't have came back at all. The same we talked about yesterday. Ken, I agree with you. But it depends on the pitcher. If they want to call the game and they want the catcher to call the game. But let's be honest. Alvarez can call any pitch he wants. Diaz can shake him off. Diaz didn't shake him off. And this is the problem when you're going to come to Diaz, who's afraid to throw his slider in big spots. He's been fastball dominant for the most part ever since Arizona. Now, it's been successful, but when you need that breaking pitch, when you need that slider and try to spin it in the dirt and try to see if a batter goes reaching, he don't have confidence in that pitch. So that 0-2 pitch should have never been a fastball. It should have been a slider, regardless of where it is. It should have been a slider. That was a bad call. It was a bad call by Alvarez, and it was a bad job by Diaz for not shaking him off. And I guarantee you the reason why Diaz didn't shake him off is because he's afraid to throw his slider, at least when a big moment occurs. Because he threw it a couple of times. If you look at it, they weren't good sliders. They were hangers. But I'd rather you throw a slider there and maybe you make a mistake with it, but throwing that fastball when JT Realmuto, who is a catcher, by the way, if you didn't know, clearly knew that Diaz is afraid to throw his slider. So what do you think JT Realmuto is looking for? The fastball. And where, even if you wanted to throw the fastball, try to get it low and in the zone, not high where JT Realmuto does damage. He's a high fastball hitter, especially when they only need a base hit. So it's a bad game all around. The Mets blew yesterday's game with the lack of offense after the 3rd inning. The bullpen yesterday didn't do their job. Today, Peterson pitched outstanding, gave the Mets offense every opportunity to get runs. Tyrone Taylor, big home run in the 8th. A guy who wasn't even supposed to play today. Yeah, we got a little bit on an unfortunate circumstance where it bounced off of Harper's glove and the second baseman was able to get to it before the runner on third, or I forgot who was who was coming around. I think it was Bader. No, it wasn't Bader. I forgot who it was coming around the base. He would have probably scored if that ball gets through the hole. He would have scored. And it would have been 2-0. So, look, look, I don't know the Braves are playing. I believe they play tonight. Braves and Dodgers it would be nice if the Dodgers actually show up tonight, right? It would be nice if the Dodgers show up tonight. I don't expect them to. So we're going to be talking about 13 games to go, probably a game back. Now, it's not the end of the world. We did lose to one of the best teams in baseball. But let me ask you something. Did this team look like the best team one of the best teams in baseball? Because they didn't look very good. They didn't. They got the big hits, but it wasn't the guys you were expecting. JT Realmuto, yes. But yesterday, Cal Stevenson. Look at the guys in the bottom of the order to get back to the top of the order, to get to JT Realmuto to get the game-winning hit. Tough loss, guys. Absolutely tough loss. We needed to win this series. Again, it's not a death sentence by any means. And for anybody in the comment section that said, oh, same old Mets next year, well, then don't watch the next 13 games. And in your case, I hope the Mets make a run and you don't deserve to watch that Met game. I don't think you should. Because you already went in. See, there's Met fans like Joe and Clark. There's Met fans like Frank the Tank. Guys who feed off of the Mets losing, who get clicks because of the Mets losing. Call WFAN in Joe and Clark, who doesn't call when they win, doesn't tweet out anything when they win, but when they lose, you guarantee he's already on that laptop or phone typing negative shit. And Frank the Tank is probably making a video as we speak. It's a joke. If you want to be a negative person when it comes to, oh, let's worry about next year, then worry about next year. If you're a football team, watch football. Don't watch the Mets because you'll be the first moron to come back, running back to your TV to watch the Mets when they're playing well and say, oh, I love this team. You're that person. Just go away. It's a bad loss. Guess what? You have them in 162 games. Now, it's tough to have them now, but you act like the Mets are 4 games out of a playoff spot. Right now, they're a half a game. Possibly could be a game. Possibly could be tied still. Best case scenario, the Braves lose today. Maybe that will happen. And then it's kind of a wash, but a missed opportunity. Stop talking about next year. Stop it. Robert, what's my thoughts on Lindor coming out? I'm worried now. And I said this in the pregame. If he clearly wasn't 100%. When he got the base hit, you saw how he was running the first base? This is where I hope Mendoza would be the protector of the player in this spot. Where clearly Francisco Lindor wants to play. We know he's going to do everything he can. He's a bulldog. The guy played the same day his wife gave birth. This guy wants to be out there. But it was up to the coaching staff. Now, the medical part of it, I'm not going to put blame on the medical personnel because they could have said you're not ready yet, but it's a lower back. And if you've had lower back pain in your life, and I certainly do, you can feel good doing a lot of activities. And if you're active, your body's accustomed to doing those type of activities like Lindor baseball. But it's when you play or you practice and you're feeling good and you tell the doctors, I feel good, so they're gonna pass you. And the test came back with just soreness, with nothing major damage. So in this case with lower back, that's if there ain't a broken back or anything in your back that is alarming, it's just it can be aggravating. But the hard part was, and he came out right after the first inning. Why is that? Because what happens to a back when you're active and then you rest? It tightens up. I know this personally. So I'm not speaking from a hole in the wall. I'm speaking personally. This is somebody who plays sports. This is somebody who is active. This is somebody who works in, an area where you got to be active. So when you work and do that similar activity, your body remembers and it feels good. But it's when you rest for a half inning and come back out where it tightens up. And that's probably what happened. I'm concerned because a lower back or a back in general, even when there's no, season-ending injury, broken back, or anything that's major, it still can be very uncomfortable. And it's not something. It's not like a sprained ankle or a sprained wrist or something that is soft tissue that you could probably work through, wrap it up or spray the numbness spray on it or something like that. The back is sneaky, is tricky. So yeah, I'm very concerned because it's not easy to play with. I could imagine trying to play baseball and sitting getting back up. That's a lot of twerk, a lot of twisting when you're hitting, a lot of quick movements at shortstop or on the field in general. Yeah, it's a problem. It's very complicated with this back injury. That is why I said in the pregame, if there's any question, don't play him. Why risk it? Now, I'm not saying he hurt himself more, because what has been the indication was he didn't hurt himself more. But what I believe they found out, if I'm not mistaken, somebody can correct me in the chat if they do. If they did, it stiffened up on him, which is obvious when you have soreness in your back or an injury to your back, even if it is minor. The scar tissue, the vertebrae could be not aligned properly. There's so many. I don't want to speculate what's the issue, but when it stiffens up like that, and especially he didn't play yesterday, he came out of the game late on Friday, and that's where you just don't know. And the only way you can really know if your back's okay is by playing, which he tried to do, and then sit down and then try to get back up and be active again. That's when it starts to act up. I know this, God, ever since I had my surgery. I've known it for 6 years now. And I'm in my 30s. So, I'm a little older than Lindor, but I mean, it's a problem. It really is. And it's a tricky injury. I'd rather him have a sprained ankle. At least that's okay. Wrap it up, wrap it nice and tight, get it in the cleat. And, you can kind of take the pressure from the bandage and it won't be so bad. You'll feel it, but it won't be as bad. But the issue is it's a back. It's unique. It's a problem. So I'm worried about Francisco Lindor. And I know somebody says, give him the Nat series off. No. I mean, you might have to. But this is why I said keep him out of this game today and rest him another day. It's technically 3 days, right? With the end of the game on Friday, yesterday's game and today's game, and then tomorrow you don't play until nighttime, until 7. So you get like 3 full days basically of resting him. I'd rather have Francisco Lindor for the Nats series because that's somewhat of an easier opportunity to win a ball game when you got your MVP on the field. So now it's a question mark. Now you're going to be limited. Now, I'm not saying that Acuna did bad today or anything like that. He is a rookie. You can't just expect him to be outstanding. He had a good day yesterday, struggled a little bit with the bat today, looked good defensively. But you can't expect him to replace Lindor and be Lindor. And that's the unfortunate part. Easy, 100%. They should beat the Nats without Lindor. And you're home, by the way. Now, look, this is a tough series loss, right? They didn't bounce back after yesterday's game. Now, I'm not saying they played bad at all. The Phillies didn't play that good. Like, this is the second time we faced the Phillies. The last time was in London, where we're like, they have flaws. They have issues. And they got shut down by David Peterson today. For all how many hitters do they have? Well, they didn't do nothing until later in the game, and it was basically the bottom of the order. So it's infuriating. It's tough. It sucks. But today's a day we got to pray and hope the Dodgers actually realize they're playing baseball in Atlanta and win a ball game. How about helping us out just a little bit today? Because losing a series to the Phillies and just losing a game in the standings to the Braves is not ideal, but I take it. I'd rather go. I would be okay coming into tomorrow still tied, because now it's in our hands again. If the Braves take the lead, obviously it's not in our hands anymore. We have to hope they lose now. If we win, icing on the cake, cherry on top. If they lose, we gain a game. But if they win, nothing happens. So, and Lindor's getting an MRI on his back. That's concerning. Now, it's not concerning that he's going for an MRI. He was probably going to go for it anyway. The issue is, let's just hope it's nothing serious. Serious, I'm not saying like, having surgery, but I'm saying like out for another week or maybe the rest of the season, and could be back during the postseason. Sucks. They didn't do the job, and mostly it's on the offense. 4 runs in 16 innings before the Tyrone Taylor home run in the 8th. Juan, I always run my mouth, so shut up. You're on a Mets channel. All right, you're on my channel. All right, I run my mouth all the time. Just ex-Met fans in this chat who are getting on me already. And running my mouth is speaking facts. You might not like the facts, but they're facts. I haven't said nothing that wasn't a fact. You might not like it, but that's on you. Yeah. Well, okay. Zob. What did I say? I said the Phillies didn't play good. The Mets gave you those games. Congratulations. What did I say that running my mouth that was wrong? You just agreed with me. So you're being a troll. Congratulations. I don't know what else to say. No, Juan, that's fine. I know what you're talking about. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. That's right, Juan. That's my fault. Zob. I saw the wrong comment. But he did say Phillies play like crap, and we still lost too. Yeah, we know. We watched. And so, like, come on. Like, if you're going to troll a channel, at least be creative. But, I mean, you are from Philly, so you're not very smart. So, good for you. Again, congratulations, right? You won 2 out of 3, and we gave you the game. You didn't deserve to win 2 out of 3. Kudos for you guys for actually getting a big hit, unlike the Mets in the last 2 games. But, yeah, here's what I know. If the Mets did a slimmer of a little bit better in the offense department, a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, we probably could have swept you. Now, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you didn't play that well. And if it wasn't for Cal Stevenson in the bottom of your order and a little bit of Bryce Harper in between, and look, a win's a win. And you guys get credit for getting a big hit. So, I mean, good for you. But I didn't say, it's not like I'm saying the Phillies suck or the Phillies are terrible. Then I'd be lying. So, and yes, guys, so Lindor is getting an MRI now. Yeah, Juan, but again, nobody said Peterson should have been taken out after the 7th and not bring him out for the 8th inning. There was no reason, there was no signs of him failing or signs of him tiring going into the 8th. Again, I would be on board with you if you said, all right, after that first hit, take him out. We can probably agree on that. But even after the second double that tied the game, he still was able to. He struck out Schwarber after the bunt, right? Rojas bunted, got him out at first, and struck out Schwarber, and then they took him out. So they said the MRI is tomorrow. Yeah, that makes sense in New York. So that makes sense. So we'll probably get it first thing in the morning tomorrow. So again, Lindor is going for an MRI tomorrow. Hopefully, we get good news. Again, he was going for an MRI regardless. Again, that's why I would have sat him today. Sure, I would have sent him back to New York today. I wouldn't even play. I would even told him to lace up. I would have just said, go back to New York, spend some time with your family, get some rest, and we'll go for the MRI in the morning. Because if there's no major damage, like I'm talking about to the lower back, the vertebrae, the lumbar area, the cervical area. I'm sorry, the cervical. Wow, Jesus. The lower back area. I'm sorry, I'm going medical for no reason when like I know what I'm talking about. But if it's just lower back soreness and an MRI doesn't show nothing, even if it is negative, that doesn't tell me anything except he's just got to deal with the pain and it to flare up at any moment. Or what do? You got to rest him, right? That's why resting him today was probably the smart move. And, go figure. Lindor doesn't really play these 2 games and the Mets lose. I'm not saying that the Mets would have won if Lindor was in the lineup. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Yeah, one, but even if it's not a serious injury, it's a back. You know what I'm saying? It's a back. His spine can be good. It could be muscular. It could be soft tissue, which is an issue. Cortisone shot, yeah, sure. But again, that might get him out there, but that's not going to solve the injury. Like if it's just soreness, if it's just tightness, cortisone could take care of that for a night. But again, what is he going to be? Because I've had cortisone shots before. If they don't hit the right spot, it doesn't help at all. If they hit the right spot, you feel good for 6 to 8 hours, give or take. But after that, how's he going to wake up? Well, I understand about Martinez, but he got a home run robbed yesterday, and he hit a shot to center field that was also a good catch. Now, he hasn't been good, but he's been putting good at-bats together. You can't help that guy's made good catches. All right, Ray, have a good day. All right, I'm just checking the comment. Just give me a second. Anti-inflammatory. Well, they're probably giving them that already, Ken, most likely, especially if it's not like the X-ray clearly showed his spine, obviously. So that's a good sign that it's most likely not the spine. I mean, it could be his disc. Who knows? It could be a slip disc or something like that. Let's hope the MRI will tell you that. But if it's anything not the anti-inflammatory, he's probably getting already because when he back stiffens up, and it's kind of like there's either scar tissue. It's a little bit inflamed. Obviously, anti-inflammatories, but he's probably getting that already, and they'll probably continue to give that to him. Well, Ken, that's the thing. We don't know. We don't know how much pain he's in. We all know that Lindor's a tough SOB, right? We all know that. He's played through injuries. He played, I think, 2021 with, was it a wrist injury where he had surgery, or he had like he had like a surgery either 2021 or after 2022 where he played through a tremendous amount of pain. I think it was his wrist, if I'm not mistaken, and played through it and had a really good season. So again, you can play with a messed up wrist. You can play with a messed up ankle. A sprain, a strain in the hamstring. You can play with a lot of that stuff. A back issue. Well, I know, Ken. I know, but again, we don't know. Everybody has different pain thresholds. You know what I mean? We all know that, right? I mean, it could be a slip disc, but it might have not completely moved from its its main area as well. Again, we don't know. It could. I mean, my discs are kind of like, they kind of deflated basically. So I'm on bone and got to be careful. But again, if it's a slip disc, and I mean, I don't, they probably could see. I mean, obviously, if you're a orthopedic doctor, you would be able to see it on the X-ray, at least some kind of informality on the X-ray. So it might not be that. Again, the MRI will tell you more about the soft tissue surrounding the spine, and we'll have a better idea. But well, yeah, explosive. I agree. I don't think he should have played. If there was any question, and clearly there was a question because they didn't put out the lineup until after 12:30. I was live, and right before I was going to end the stream, they put up the lineup like around 12:37, 12:38. So there was question if he was okay, if he was good to go. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't just held him back for today. I know it sucks. You're playing the Phillies. You need the victory. But not only did you start him, you had to put Acuna in as a leadoff man. I guarantee you, if Lindor was out of the lineup, Iglesias would have been the leadoff man. And this is not on Acuna at all. I'm not trying to put the blame on Acuna. That's not fair to the kid. But, you throw him into this moment when he thought he probably had an off day, or at least not starting and probably coming later in the game. But, it kind of messed with the lineup a little bit. So really, really, really disappointing, man. But there's 13 games to go. I believe I was going to say the Phillies, the Dodgers. Yeah, but easy. Again, I agree with you. But there was videos of him running in the outfield fine when he was testing his back. What was concerning was when Mendoza saw him run to first base slowly, and Mendoza took him out. Lindor would have came out of that game, but Mendoza took him out. Ken, I continue to talk about Nimmo because I said Nimmo should not be in the top 4. Sorry. Pete Alonso, even though he's not doing what he should be doing, he actually has been putting better at bats together over these last 2 or 3 games. He's been more leveled with his swing. He's been more balanced. He's been fouling off that tough slider, even at that bat where he hit it down the first base area where Harper deflected it, which almost could have got us the RBI, the 2-run RBI, or the extra run, and made it 2-0. Alonso has been better. Now, the production is not all the way there yet, but there's good signs. Nimmo is, I know he had a 3-run homer in game 1, but my God, the at-bats, just lifeless. Lifeless. I like the lineup when Nimmo's not in the top 4. And, with Lindor, probably a good chance he's not playing tomorrow. I want Iglesias leading off. Now, Vientos has had good moments in the 2-hole, but he's struggling right now. So it begs the question, what are we going to do? I like Alonso in that 3-hole. Who do you put in the 2? Acuna? That might be an option. Would I go Iglesias, Acuna, Alonso, Martinez? Then Nimmo? Or yeah, and then Vientos after that? And then switch up your 7, 8, and 9 with Alvarez, Bader, and Taylor, or wherever else is going to play right field if Marte's not available? Well, Emerson, I agree with that. Diaz needed to do better. I talked about it first starting the stream. I have no idea why he threw an 0-2 pitch fastball up in the zone. Well, it wasn't really in the zone. It was actually a little above letter high. It was basically neck high to Realmuto, but he's a high ball hitter. And again, I brought this up a couple of times on a couple of shows. I don't remember when, but I brought it up a couple of times. Diaz not throwing his slider with confidence. Even though he's been successful for the most part with that fastball, when hitters are not expecting a slider, a confident slider to come out of Diaz's hand, and basically a kind of a non-competitive pitch non-competitive slider, what are you looking for as a batter? And on top of that, JT Realmuto is a catcher. So what do you think he had no reason to think a slider was coming. That's why it's a problem with Diaz not trying to work on that slider and get the confidence with it. If he would have hung a slider to Realmuto, I would say good idea throwing that pitch, but the location was bad. That ball needed to be in the dirt on that 0-2 pitch. The next two pitches should have been in the dirt somewhere trying to make Realmuto a fish. He is vulnerable, knee and lower. He's vulnerable there. So if he would have tried the slider and just missed location, there's nothing you can do about that. But throwing the wrong pitch, exactly what I talked about with Reed Garrett yesterday. Why are you throwing your third best pitch to Cal Stevenson? Now, the concept of that pitch, a backdoor slider to a lefty, makes sense. But when you're hitting the gun at 99 and your splitter has been effective with your fastball, and Cal Stevenson in that at-bat couldn't catch up to your fastball, you not only throw a slider to a lefty, I don't care if the slider is batting 089. A left-handed hitter loves the ball low and in. Every left-handed hitter. I know, I'm a left-handed hitter. I don't care how bad you are as a left-handed hitter. Your wheelhouse, your easiest approach to getting back to ball is low and in. And the slider speeded up his bat. So both games today was pitch selection. Yeah, Ken, I understand that, but a wild pitch and a pass ball only puts Castellanos to third base. A base hit scores the run regardless. So you can't be afraid of that. I get what you mean, but it wasn't about Alvarez blocking it at all. It's about the confidence of Diaz throwing an actual sharp slider, which he hasn't thrown many of. Realmuto as a catcher, and those guys are one of the smartest guys on the field, most of them. Realmuto knew he wasn't throwing that slider. Knew it. Yeah, well, I don't think the game is on Mendy. Mendy can't control the batters hitting the ball. I know you said the lineup as well. But what did Mendy do that was such a problem? He kept Peterson in going into the 8th inning when he was rolling with 84 pitches. Right? Now, you want to argue after that first hit, that first double, to take him out? Okay, that's an argument you can have. Now, he gave up that double. He still didn't take him out. Interesting. I'd take him out. But Rojas bunted. He got the guy out of first, and he struck out Schwarber, and then he was taken out of the game. So, yeah, even if he would have took out him after the second at-bat, the second hitter after that second double, and to tie the ball game, you're taking him out. Who's to say the next pitcher, when Rojas is going to bunt anyway, who said that Schwarber wasn't going to strike out with another pitcher coming from the bullpen, which probably would have been Diaz or Maton, which it actually was. So, and Maton got Turner to fly out. And Maton probably wasn't coming into the ballgame for Schwarber. I'm sorry. I'm trusting David Peterson, who's pitched outstanding to the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Now, maybe it would have been questionable if it was 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. If the top of the order was coming up in the 8th inning. Now you have a pretty good argument about possibly taking out Peterson for whoever they wanted to bring in, because Diaz was warming up. So Mendoza had the idea of pitching Diaz 2 innings, which I would have been okay with. But the problem is, look, Peterson didn't get the job done. He didn't finish it up. He didn't finish it off. All right, I'm not killing him because he had a pretty damn good game up until that point. But the job wasn't finished. Diaz had 2 outs in the ninth. He didn't want to throw his slider. He's not confident throwing that slider in big spots. He's just not. The location was bad and the pitch selection was bad. Now, again, I'm repeating myself, but if he would have thrown a slider on 0-2 and he hung it and Realmuto hit it, bad location, but it was the right pitch. But there was no need to throw a fastball on 0-2. There was no reason to throw a ball that is the wheelhouse of Realmuto. He's a high ball hitter. With his level swing, he's a high ball hitter. The unfortunate part is that the Mets also didn't score. Yeah, Ken, exactly. Yeah. Imagine that. We scored 1 run. Let's see. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3. 15 innings without scoring a run. From the 4th inning yesterday, right? That's a good match, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 16 innings. Excuse me. 16 innings without scoring a run. From the 3rd inning yesterday until the 8th inning today. 16 innings. I don't care if you got Tom Seaver on the mound. It's hard to win when you only score 1 run. Yesterday, you scored 4 runs in 3 innings, and you didn't add on. You didn't tack on. On Friday, you tacked on. It kind of puts the Phillies, having a mindset of like, oh shit, this is going to be tough, right? But it was 4-0 for basically the whole game yesterday. And slowly but surely, they tacked away at the lead, and then eventually they went ahead. Same thing today. No runs. And the Phillies didn't do anything either. We get that big home run by Tyrone Taylor, who wasn't even supposed to play, filling in for Marte. 1-0 Mets in the 8th. You gotta get more runs. It's silly to say in a game when you score 4 runs, it should be enough. But we saw how that game was trending. When Harper hit that second home run, we're like, damn, we need to tack on some runs here. We need some insurance runs. Never came. So every pitcher had to be perfect. They weren't. A slip here and there, a walk here, things change quickly. We've seen it. It happened quickly. Ken, where's Grimace? Vacationing? Maybe he can teach a couple of these guys how to hit. But Ken, you're not wrong. You're not. I mean, yeah, you could say that, but if McNeil is playing, Iglesias is probably not starting, right? So Iglesias got some big hits for us since McNeil's been out. So yeah, it's a catch-22 with that. But besides the point, I know Alonso hit a shot down the right field by first base, and it got deflected by Harper, and the second baseman got it and didn't get that run in. No fault of Alonso, but you know what? That's an Alonso hit the ball over the wall spot. How many times have we said that? Yeah, Ken. Okay, Iglesias. Yeah, okay, Iglesias would have played shortstop today or yesterday, but not the last week and a half when Lindor was fine. So McNeil could have probably played right field, left field, but then if McNeil was healthy, maybe Tyrone Taylor wouldn't have been in the game today. Tyrone Taylor was playing. If McNeil was playing right field, Tyrone Taylor wouldn't have been batting. Vientos looked terrible at the plate today. We can go through the lineup here. The fact is they didn't score runs. And the pitch selection for Diaz, questionable to Real Muto. And yeah, you could have walked them. But they would have pinched hit for with Marsh, the lefty. Now, maybe that would have worked out. Maybe it wouldn't have. We would never know. But you had a guy who hit you well, 0-2. You didn't have the confidence to throw your slider, and it bit you in the ass. You not only threw the wrong pitch, you put it in the worst location possible. If you would have tried to throw him inside, throw it on the outside, Realmuto's not a pull hitter. He's a right center field gap guy. He loves going the other way. The ball was up where he likes it. If he was confident in that slider, there's no question Diaz would have thrown probably 2 sliders in a row. He's vulnerable from the knees down. It was just bad all around. It wasn't good. The offense didn't do nothing. Peterson deserved a win today. Got the loss. Diaz comes in. Can't even get us to the 10th. And we lose the game on walk-off fashion. We lose the series. Hopefully the Dodgers win a ball game today and act like they play baseball. And if we get lucky and the Braves lose today, we're back to square one. We're tied. And now it's back in our court. Where if we win, we control our own destiny at this moment. If we lose, now we need help again. We got to win and need help. It's a lot easier just to worry about yourself and do your job. And the frustrating thing before we end this stream was the fact that the Mets outplayed the Philadelphia Phillies. Every game they had a lead. 4-run lead in game 2. Late inning, 1-run lead in the 8th. Didn't get the job done. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. They didn't finish it out. Now you could say, one of the best teams in baseball found ways to win. Absolutely. But the Mets offense and the Mets pitching, bullpen in particular, because we had really good starts from our starters. Winnable starts from our starters. And they didn't finish the job. Severino pitched well, except giving 2 home runs to Harper. Quintana pitched excellent. We got that win. Peterson pitched outstanding. Offense had to help us out a little bit more. But it's going to be a back and forth with 13 games to go. It's probably going to go up 1. We're down 1. We're tied. We're up 1, down 1. We're tied. It's going to go. Look, Emerson just said it. It's going to be that Brave series. There's not going to be more than a 1-game difference for either team. It's either the Mets up 1 or the Braves up 1, or they're tied going into that series. You know why? Because we can't get that lucky and go into a series up 2 games. That would be great. They would have to sweep the series to go ahead of us or take 2 out of 3 to tie us. Now, that would hurt us big time because they also have the tiebreaker if they take 2 out of 3. So it's looking like it could come down to that series, even though there's 3 games with the Brewers for the Mets and 3 games against the Royals for the Braves. The fact is, 2 missed opportunities yesterday and today. 4-0 lead. I don't care if Frank the Tank is on the mound. You got to hold that lead. You got to win that ball game. Frustrating. The offense could have got a couple of insurance runs, but it is 4 runs. You got to win that ball game. Today, lifeless offense. Tyrone Taylor with the big hit. You only had 6 outs to win a game, and you couldn't even do it. Tough series. We come back home for 7-3 against the Nationals, 4 against the Phillies. We got to beat down on the Nationals. You're home. Mania pitches tomorrow. Win tomorrow. Get the job done. I'm not one to say you got to sweep a series before it even starts. I know some are going to say that. Probably some in the chat. Probably some on the roundtable might want to say that. I'm not going to say that. Win a series. Go in there, win tomorrow. Yeah. How about this? Worry about tomorrow's game. Don't worry about Tuesday's game or Wednesday's game. Worry about Monday's game. Monday's game, win. Because I said this. You can't have extended losing streaks. You can't have a 3-game losing streak or a 4-game losing streak. Not this late in the season with 13 games to go. It's hard to recover unless the Braves do it very similar and basically give you help. Yeah, easy. That's great to say. We all want to sweep the Nats. And maybe they will. Best case scenario. We all want to sweep the Nats. But worry about tomorrow first. Win tomorrow's game. And then you worry about Tuesday. You win that game and you win tomorrow. Now we can talk about a sweep. They should sweep the Nationals. But it's baseball. We know it just doesn't work like that. Just because we want it to, just because the Mets are better than the Nationals, that means absolutely nothing in baseball. Unless you're the White Sox. The Nationals, the Braves lost to them. Right? They took 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. They got a lot of good young players that are trying to prove themselves at the big league level. A lot of top prospects that are damn good. Guys that are trying to prove themselves and stay in the big leagues. Top prospects. That's always a dangerous game. Always a dangerous game because they want to win. They want to play hard. They want to put up big stats. They want to be spoilers. Dolph Met, it's over. Congratulations. It's not. But if you wanted to say, I said this. Dolph Met, I said this earlier. And if you don't like it, I'm always welcoming you to leave. I appreciate you here. But those comments are such a pile of horseshit. And I'm going to tell you why. 2 reasons before we end this stream. Number 1, was it over yesterday? No. Did you watch the game today? Of course you did. The worst case scenario, we end the day a game back, which we have been back and forth for like a week. It's not over. By any means, it's not over. We all can do math. At least I hope you all can. Dolph Met, if you think it's over, and Dolph Met, I'm assuming you're a Dolphins fan. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe you are a football fan. Go watch football and don't watch the last 13 games of the season. But I can guarantee you one thing. If the Mets make the playoffs, your ass will be in the seat watching. You know why? Because you're a fucking fan. Us fans get drawn back in all the time. You're going to be one of them. If it's over, good. Enjoy. Nobody's telling you to watch this Mets team. You probably also said it was over when it was 11 games over 500. Right? You probably said that then. Now, I don't know if you were on my channel saying that, but you might have been saying it on other channels. And guess what? You were watching on September 15th. So clearly you were wrong. And this is by no means saying that the Mets are going to make the playoffs. I'm not giving them that benefit of the doubt yet. But we've seen this team bounce back after a bad series, after bad losses. And that's fine. If you think it's over, then don't watch. But your ass is going to be in the seat watching tomorrow. You know why? Because there's 13 games to go, and they might be a game out. Is it over if the Braves lose today? Last time I checked, they'd be tied. It's not over yet. It's not even over if the Mets lose 4 in a row and the Braves have a 2-game lead. Now, it's kind of losing hope, but it's understandable that you're angry and you're pissed off. We all are. These are games that should have been won. We had the lead in both of these games. This one late, yesterday early. They didn't finish the job. It sucks. But you got 13 games to go with, at the very least, waking up tomorrow a game back. Best case scenario, tied. I'd rather be tied, but it's not the end of the world. Look, the Mets can still make sure they do their job. Go out there. For the most part, they played really pretty well overall in this series. Little moments here or there. Yeah, of course, Dolph, you'll be here. You know why? Because you're a fan. But if you think it's over, don't bother watching. I just don't get Met fans that it's clearly not over and saying it's over because you just need to be good. Dolph, I don't know. Even if it is clean, that doesn't mean the back's going to just magically say, hey, MRI's okay, all right, let's go. No. But despite Lindor, the Mets did have a lead yesterday and also had the lead late in the ballgame without Lindor. So let's not pinpoint Lindor out of these games, and that means they lost. Now, is it going to hurt us if he's not playing in next week? Yeah, I mean, you could. You'd rather have him in the lineup, but to say we can't, look, we shouldn't be able to not beat the Nationals because Lindor might not be in the lineup. Anthony. Yeah, we've talked about it for almost an hour now, over an hour. Yeah, where is number one Alonso? No, Alonso, I said it in the pregame, Alonso has had better at-bats, but the production is still not there. I know Alonso hit that ball to first base, deflected off of Harper, got to the second baseman, didn't score that runner from third. And if it went through the hole, it would have been 2-0. Maybe we're talking about a different outcome. But that's a Pete Alonso home run spot right there. And that didn't happen because he barely hits home runs in a meaningful spot anymore. Yeah, Anthony, Martinez got robbed on one today and robbed, obviously, from a home run yesterday. That would have tied the game. He's putting better at-bats together. Now, we hope the production is there. Same thing with Alonso. They got to look. They got to get it through. Okay, Dolph. Well, you're already expecting it. Again, why are you watching? You can't tell me in this series that the Phillies outplayed the Mets because they didn't. Now, this series has nothing to do with a 4-game series 4 days from now on Thursday. We're home. We'll have all our best pitchers pitching in that game. We'll have Severino. We'll have Quintana, who's pitched well. Manaea will pitch, I think, the last game of the series, if my math's correct. Right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He'll pitch the third to last game of the series against Philly. Look, a little bit more offense, we win those games. So, listen, guys, it sucks, but get back on the horse tomorrow and you know what? Play angry tomorrow. They at least deserve to win this game today. Just the way that Tyrone Taylor home run, man, I thought we were going to win that ball game. Shit, I did. But we did it. Yeah. And yeah, that's the other thing, Andreas, and thank you for mentioning that. You know, we're only talking about the Braves here, but the D-backs have come back down to earth. And are the Mets a half a game or a game? A game. So if the Diamondbacks lose today, it's back to a half a game. So that's also a possibility. The second wild card is definitely a possibility as well, because right now we're a game, but Arizona hasn't finished the game yet. If they lose, we're a half a game from the Diamondbacks. The Braves would go ahead. I mean, would go ahead of the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks would be the third team, which, let's be honest, is probably better off for the Mets, because the Mets don't have to overtake the Diamondbacks. They just have to tie them. Yeah, one game back of Arizona at this moment, but it was a half a game before the game started. Because the Mets lost, it's a full game now. But if Arizona loses, it's a half a game. If they win, it's a game and a half. Right? Because the Diamondbacks didn't finish yet, right? They're playing now. Yes, they're playing now. Right? Yep. And they're winning 2-0, by the way. Shit. All right. Yeah, Syracuse, I get that. But I don't care about 2025 right now. I don't care about what Stearns is going to do in 2025. I don't care what Steve Cohen is going to do in 2025. I'm still worried about 2024. There's still a damn shot. There's still a chance to make the playoffs. That's what I'm working on right now. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not going past game 162 unless it's the playoff of a wild card. That's it. They need to shake off these losses and get back in the W column against a Nationals team that they're better than. You're home. Manaea's on the mound tomorrow. That's good for us. The offense needs to wake the fuck up. And with that said, I'm glad everybody has tuned in. I know this was a disappointing post game. A lot of opinions came out off your chest. Frustration in these comments. I understand. But we'll watch the game tomorrow. And the Mets need to win. It's very simple. And, we're only talking about the Braves like it's the only thing that matters. The Diamondbacks matter too. Now, hopefully they lose, and we're a half a game from them still. But with that said, guys, thank you for tuning in to another Mets postgame show. Unfortunately, it wasn't a happy postgame show as the Mets lose 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia, losing on a walk-off hit by JT Realmuto in the ninth. Mets are 81-68. 13 games to go in the regular season. Coming back home for 7 against the Nationals and the Phillies. With that said, guys, everybody have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your football. Sko, congratulations, you Jets won. With that said, everybody have a good night. Let's go, Mets. And Michael, you're a moron as well. Have a good night, guys. Let's go, Mets.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker,